Hey RMPs and responders, Chrissy Brooks with Northern Plains Health and Safety. We are going to go through this week's hypothetical. We are week ending 2/8, and this is our biohazard hypothetical. All right, so we're going to work through our decision tree, reading every word out loud because it's good practice and it keeps our mind fresh. So here's our scenario. A box with a biohazard label is leaking a small amount of liquid on the floor in a trailer. The liquid is spreading quickly to other boxes. When you open the box, you find 4 lab urine samples in 6-ounce containers. One of the containers is broken open. There are no fumes that irritate the skin, no visible fumes, smoke, or irritating odors. Answer the questions below. And as you can see, I already went through and answered the questions, but I would like you to read through your decision tree. I'm going to pause right here and let you go through the decision tree and see if you end up at yellow box, just like I did. If not, we will discuss. All right, so hopefully as you were reading through your decision tree, this one, of course, we've got a diamond hazard label, so it's going to bring us down to our red box right here. We don't have any of these items in our diamond hazard label, so it brought us down to the next box. None of these in our diamond hazard label. Over here, this one, it's not a non. The only way that you would be answering this one yes is if it's going to be a non. So yellow box, responder needs to clean it up. So we got our yellow box marked, and of course, which response sheet would we utilize for this spill? Well, it's got a biohazard label on it, so we're going to use our biohazard response sheet. And then what do our response sheet or containment sheet tell us to do? Well, biohazards are unique. It's something that biohazards do not go into green bags and they do not go into our white buckets. You're going to end up finding your sharps container. That is the cardboard box that you randomly received about this time last year. Big cardboard box. It says sharps on the outside of it. Inside of that is a white cardboard box, and inside of that is a bucket. So that 5-gallon bucket and the bags that are in that bucket is what you're going to clean up the spill into. We're going to be putting it into that sharps bucket. The reason that we do that is because our waste vendor Veolia does not deal with biohazards. They will not take biohazard damages from us. So we have to use a different vendor to get that stuff essentially out of our building. And that's why we use that Sharps box. Sharps is a vendor that is very dependable, and so we utilize them to dispose of then our biohazard waste. So let's go ahead and find our biohazard response sheet, and I would like everybody to read through it right now. I'm going to pause, and then I'm going to go through some of the highlights on it. All right, hopefully you had the chance to go through the biohazard response sheet. It is on page 13, and it's got a handful of different labels, but of course this is the one that matches what was on our box in the scenario. I did want to highlight, first thing you're supposed to do, cordon off a minimum of 15 feet. Well, and actually the very first thing you're supposed to do, right here, we want to get that PPE on, because we have no idea what could be in those urine samples. It could be someone that's positive for an infectious disease. It could be any number of things. So protect yourself. That's what PPE is for you to protect you. You don't want to get exposed to this stuff. It's never good stuff. So make sure that you're donning your PPE and doing it correctly and wearing all of it, so that just in case something happens, you're not going to get exposed. I also wanted to point out, of course, we're cording it off minimum of 15 feet. This is where we are going to be mixing a bleach solution, and it talks about it right here in step number 3. Dissolve 3.3 gram chlorine tablet per 32 ounces of water in the approved container, and apply it to the spilled material for any equipment in contact with that spilled material. So that is going to be making our bleach solution, and then we're going to be decontaminating anything that the package contents came into contact with. So we're going to take our little bleach mixing bottle and that little white tablet that's in those little white packets. We're going to break that open, put it inside of our bleach mixing bottle, fill that bleach mixing bottle to the 32-ounce mark, screw the lid on, shake it up. We're going to shake it until that chlorine tablet is dissolved. Then we're going to take that and pour it over top of anything that damage touched. Then we're going to start the solidifying steps. Then you're going to grab your Zepsorbent. You're going to solidify the materials. We're going to scoop it up, and everything is going to go inside of that bucket that came out of the sharps container. And they even give you like little strips of tape, everything. I encourage you to go check out that sharps box. Open it up. You need to keep the the inside box. You don't have to keep the outside box, but we need to keep that white inside box because that's how we're going to get that container to the U.S. Postal Service. So get that damage solidified, and then you're going to maybe pass it off to your clerk or pass it off to management, something like that. We're going to pass it up, and someone has to call the Postal Service or schedule a pickup online. We are not transporters of hazardous materials, so you can't just put it with your, and hey, we don't have SurePost trucks anymore, right? So we have to have the Postal Service come and pick that up from us. We have to get that scheduled. That's how we get this damage out of our building. So, I encourage you to read through this again. Just really be sure that you are confident in what you're doing when you're dealing with these biohazards. All right, can you sign into the MFA page with your RAC FID and token? Hopefully you're doing the yes. If not, go ahead, click here for the help. If you're getting that access denied, please email your health and safety or your transportation supervisor. They're going to be the ones who can get you back in. We've noticed a lot of glitches in that MFA system, so please reach out if you're not getting in. Then I verify I can sign into ETT with my own RAC FID and my own password. So hopefully you can get that as well. And now we are going to start talking about the waste disposal flow chart for this one because it's a little different. So I know that I need to go to that waste disposal flow chart. If you don't know how to get to the waste disposal flow chart, right here is my YouTube help. So we're going to click yes. And what I'm going to do, I have the operator's quick reference guide pulled up here. So I want to take a look at that operator's quick reference guide with the waste disposal flow chart. So we've got spilled or leaking liquid or powder. None of these fit. It didn't spill outside. It didn't enter a drain. It doesn't have reportable quantity. So we're going to end up here in our red box. Does the spilled product fall into one of these categories? Well, biohazard substance is our second one. So if we go back to our hypothetical here, we are going to end up, whoops, clicked yes on that one. So we are going to end up in our red box because we have a biohazard. But I wanted to talk to you guys just a little bit about that red box. So all of these appendixes are hyperlinked. So we are going to click on this Appendix A right here. And this is going to tell you step by step what you need to do to dispose of, to clean up, then dispose of this biohazard. So there's I think it's 4 pages worth of information. How to fill out the form, how to schedule an online pickup with the Postal Service. So really, really lean on, oh my gosh, this is all still about biohazards. So there's lots of information in here about the biohazard. So please, if you encounter a biohazard, go to the quick reference guide. It's going to help you. It's going to help you figure out what you need to be doing. This Appendix A is very thorough, very great information. So don't skip it. If you've got a biohazard, that's serious stuff. Treat it like it's serious stuff. All right, let's get back here to our survey. So we ended up in our red box on the operator's quick reference guide. We're going to go to that Appendix A. We're going to read through it and make sure that we know what we're doing. All right, RCRA Clean Containers. Again, the RCRA Clean Container, RCRA is Resource Conservation and Recovery Act. That is essentially the governmental act that says once a container is empty, so once we have poured the potentially hazardous material out of it, this is no longer hazardous and we can throw it in the trash can. I'm still getting a lot of put them in the green bag answers, so that is incorrect. We do not put them in the green bag. We want to keep that extra container out of the hazardous waste system, so we are going to throw them away if they are empty. And then what tool do we use that tells you how to dispose of hazardous material? I hope you're catching on to my little hint here, highlighted and underlined. We are going to go to our waste disposal flowchart for that. And then have you completed your DOK for either being a responder or an RMP? Yes, already done, hopefully. Although, hey, it's only the third day of February, so if you're not done, that's okay. Get on it this week. Get it done, and then, hey, for the rest of the month, you get to mark this question yes. All right, moving on here. Now, I am not going to be able to do this part because this part is new. So what you're doing, you're going to use your division drop down first. Then you're going to pick your operation. So I'm based out of my Papillion building. Then you're going to pick what your last name is. This is my son, so I'll go ahead and pick him. And then your first name is going to populate in there automatically. Then your employee number is going to populate in there automatically. Now, very, very important piece. If you do not click this brown arrow, you do not get credit. This brown arrow submits all of this information. If you do not click this brown arrow, none of this gets submitted and all of your answers don't mean anything because I don't see that you completed it on my report. So we absolutely 100% have to click this brown arrow. All right, well, that's our whole hypo. I am not going to submit this for my son. He needs to go in and do it himself. So if you have any questions, as always, please reach out. I'm here to help, happy to help all the time. And hey, we're going to see you guys next week. I hope you have a fabulous week. Be safe out there. Go to your quick reference guide, follow your waste disposal flowchart, and be successful. Have a great week.